And it came very much from Charlize's great commitment to getting it done. And because of her, she collected all these remarkable women to work on it. But she collected great men to work on it too. Jay Roach, who's a good friend of hers, and Jay, who himself said to her, "Are you sure you want a man directing this? This is a woman's film." And she said, "Jay, it's you." And Charles is an incredible screenwriting mechanic. And think what he did on The Big Short. Nobody, with the possible exception of Michael Lewis himself, has done such a great job at explaining the incredibly complicated dynamics of the financial crisis of 2008. Charles just did it and made it so entertaining, so funny, so horrific, and so clear. It's just, that's what this movie absolutely required. I play Roger Ailes, the co-creator, I mean, if you can name a creator of Fox News, it was Roger. And a man of enormous energy and creativity, and since he had his finger on the pulse of American society in so many ways, and he created this gigantic phenomenon. And he was invincible in his position at the top of Fox News, and he had a very fast and calamitous fall. And it's the story of his fall, but that's not the big story. The story is the women who finally, following the lead of Gretchen Carlson, found the courage and the confidence to come forward and overcome their shame and overcome their non-disclosure agreements and put an end to this poison. This was the best ensemble I've ever worked with in a film, and the breadth of it, the number of people. There was a day when I came in to meet with Charles and Jay for the first time. I'd worked with Jay before, but I'd never met Charles. And I went into a production office just to talk. I guess maybe I was, no, we were not rehearsing with anybody else. It was just the three of us. And an entire wall was covered with the photographs of actors who had either been hired or they were waiting to hear from. They'd had their offer, but it was either a blue or a red pin. This one is in, this one we're waiting. And there were two, for each one, there were two, the picture of the actor and the character that they would be playing. And there were probably 35 or 40 of them. And there were so many actors who were friends of mine, whom I'd worked with, actors who I had always wanted to work with. And I hadn't been told. There they all were, you know, Brian Darcy James and Richard Kind and Stephen Root and Holland Taylor. It just went on and on and on. Malcolm McDowell. Everybody said yes, and everybody worked for dirt cheap. They all wanted to be in this film. The big three, Nicole, Charlize, and Margot, they are such delightful people. They're wonderful people. Such courageous actors. Every one of them you can name 3 or 4 examples of real courage as an actor. When you think of what Charlize did in Monster or Tully, Nicole, in any number of things where she's really ready to go there. And Margot in I, Tonya, a spectacular performance. And so ego-free. I mean, they're ready to just kind of twist themselves into the most sometimes alarming shapes just to make an impact. They're real committed actors. And look at all the awards. I mean, you could play checkers with the number of nominations and Oscars they've won. I think this is going to be a gigantic conversation starter. First of all, it's a terrific movie. I mean, even if it weren't about such a hot button issue, an issue about which everybody has enormous sensitivities and reactions. I mean, it's part of our biology, the way we react to this subject. But this is about gender, and it's about how men and women interact. There's so much secrecy there. There's so much shame attached to it. The stakes are so high. And everyone has some experience of what goes on, male or female. And so it's a really good film. It's a gripping and suspenseful film. It's a funny film. It's a heartbreaking film. But it's a film about a subject that every single person thinks about at some point every day of their lives.